Welcome team, my name is Bree and today we have a 15-minute flex and flow. It's going to be a beautiful mix of mobility, stretching. We're going to flow through movements, so it's going to have a little bit of movement to it. You're going to feel amazing, and it is an everyday, anytime type of flex and flow. So go ahead and, also one quick note, I am going to do today's session barefoot. Completely up to you. If your space allows you to be barefoot, sometimes that helps you just be a little bit more grounded. So I do encourage that if possible. Otherwise, you can absolutely do this with shoes, of course, and zero equipment is needed. Go ahead and take a big deep breath in with me. Fill the lungs. And exhale. And we're going to do 3 more like that. And these are going to be very intentional breaths that I want you to hold a little bit at the top with that inhale, exhale, and just feel like you're letting everything go. Exhale. One more. When I say that, you're letting go of tension. And also just prepping the body for the work ahead. All right, so we're actually going to go through each different joint, and I'm going to start us today on the floor, where we're going to start with some of our toes, a little bit of ankle, and wrists. So go ahead and meet me down on the floor. And this first move, I tend to feel that we don't always work on toe flexibility, but it is so super important. So if you've never done it, get excited. But we're going to start off toes tucked underneath you, and we're going to do a little bit of a rock back and forth. So this is where, number one, the benefit of having no shoes really shows itself right here, because you can really articulate and press into each of those toes as you feel a little bit more flexible and you want to move in and out of it a little bit more. Please do so. So what I'm doing is kind of keeping all 10 toes firmly placed into the floor, and then I'm gradually increasing that range of motion where now everything is pushed down, I feel grounded. Now my body's allowing me to have a little bit more weight over my toes, and I'm feeling a little bit more flexibility. Now this is our option 1. You can stay here and continue to work through that, or check it out. We're going to go into extension now. So you're going to tuck your toes under, and we're going to do the same thing, and you're going to rock back with now the top of your feet pressed into the floor, and we're rocking back and forth and really getting a fantastic stretch. Now, if you kind of come across any pain or discomfort, you definitely don't want to work through pain, but if you feel like it is manageable and you're just moving through tightness, I do encourage you to lean into it. Again, this is something so different that a lot of us don't prioritize, and I wanted today to be something that really gave you a lot of new moves you can mix in, but something that's so important to do every day for our bodies. All right, next we're going to go into wrists. So you can stay in this quadruped position. Palms are going to be flat on the floor. And now check it out. I want you to actually first rotate so the inside of your elbows, you're going to be facing forward. Same thing as we did with our feet. And you can even continue to have those toes tucked under if you want. I want you to rotate and open up and press firmly into the floor with all 5 fingers on each side. Now I want you to tuck your chin and think about your core tightness. So no arching of the back. You want to draw everything in. You want to be in a great alignment. And now I simply want you to just move forward and back. So kind of the same thing we did with our toes. And we're going to be going in 2 different positions as well. But continue to keep repositioning so you're rotating the inside of those elbows forward. That will tend to go, and you don't want to flare the elbows out. You want to rotate in. Good, give me 2 more. And then next, and this one can be a little bit more challenging, so definitely go at your own pace, or you can stick with what we just did. You're going to flip now the other direction. Same rules apply. I want you to rotate. And sometimes this alone, and I'm actually going to continue to stretch my toes behind me, this alone can feel like an incredible stretch. And now same thing, I want you to kind of rock back and forward. Keep going, and I'm just going to explain. So I'm actually a really great case study for this, because I did break this wrist back, it's been, 2009, but I still can feel a little bit of limitation. So I know for myself, I manage that. I don't push through the same range of motion that I have on the other side. And you just want to make sure that you're doing what works best for your body. All right. Next, we're going to go into some ankle mobility. crawling all around the floor to start, but hey, we're gonna feel so good after this, and we will end up standing up here at the end. But this is known sometimes as combat base. So you're gonna be in kind of a low crouching position. If this position's uncomfortable for you, you can also use a bench or an elevated surface and place your foot on top and be leaning into it. We have done that before. I'm just giving us some new stuff to do today. So my front leg is bisecting my back leg, so I have a really great angle here. And I want to keep a firm foot on the floor, and I'm just going to move in and out of this stretch. Now I will say, these initial movements that we're doing are actually going to help you feel like you're going to get more out of the stretch flows coming up as we start to piece everything together, because a lot of things start in our feet and ankle that then affect knee, hip, shoulders, and as we get into certain plank positions, the wrist, that mobility really does play a key factor. So right now I'm continuing to keep pushing my foot into the floor. If you want to hold for a second all the way forward, good, and then go ahead and switch. So I'm going to go to the other side. This is also a great check-in for you as far as where your mobility and flexibility is today. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Firmly place my foot into the floor. Try not to lift my heel. And then you want to also be thinking of your hips, not twisting at all, just leaning in and out. And if you feel like this is really hard or you feel really limited, you probably are going to benefit from this even more than you thought. So just go with it, and then I want you to prioritize your mobility. All right, from here, go ahead and just swing around into a supine position. So up towards the sky, and I want you to go into a low back stretch. So bring your knee into your chest, and then we're going to take it across the body. I was actually laughing to myself because this morning, and I do this most mornings, go ahead and switch sides. Before I even get out of bed, I do this stretch. So this is such a fantastic stretch. Go ahead and look the opposite way to just release the low back. But I was kind of laughing to myself thinking, oh, that's so funny. I'm going to be doing this with our Bowflex crew today. Go ahead and go back to that first lead side. But that's why this is perfect as an everyday stretch. You could even just do this every morning when you wake up. And when you prioritize mobility, and 15 minutes a day is actually a really great amount of time. Go ahead and switch again. You're going to see tremendous benefits. Trust me. And we're doing this live at the beginning of 2024. Maybe make this your year that you actually do prioritize it even more, and you'll see what I mean. All right, from here, go ahead and bring those knees into your chest, and we're going to do some circles. So we're actually going to create a little mobility through our hips. I'm just going to slide down a little bit. So my core is tight, my gaze is forward, straight ahead, and I want to make sure I have a great alignment. So I don't release my neck. I want to keep that chin tuck, base of my neck going towards the floor. And now keeping the abs tight, we're going to do an external circle, and then we'll go ahead and switch and go internal. So let's go 30 seconds here, and I want you to think of hip cars that we've done. So the goal is to come in, come out, and then I'm thinking the whole time about keeping my hips on the floor, so I'm not lifting one side as I go through this entire range of motion. And I want you to just kind of go inward and even close your eyes. And in your mind's eye, I want you to picture both hip joints on both sides, or I should say on each side, rotating in that external circle. Now, what do you feel? Do you feel tightnesses on one side that you don't feel on the other? And you're just going through this entire range of motion. Sometimes this is a little bit easier as a hip car versus when we've done it in a quadruped, because you have the floor to kind of keep your back and your glutes down and even. Okay, go the opposite direction now. So now we're drawing circles in and around. And now you're starting to feel a little bit different sensation, but we're still going in that even patterning, yes? And then you can always go a little bit bigger with the circles as you feel more comfortable. The further your knees go away from your body, it just requires your core to be a little bit tighter. So if you want to keep it a little bit less large range of motion, then you just don't go quite as far out. All right, land in the center, cross one leg over the other, and we're going to do some glute stretches, but we're going to make it dynamic. So I want you to go into figure 4 and just pick your leg up, put your leg back down. So if you've kind of noticed and been following all the joints, we've gone from toes, wrists, ankles, A lot of the movements we've done are to support the knees, because now we're in hips. And we're going to continue to hit more of our joints. All right, go ahead and switch those legs. You can even make this a mobility move to switch. And come in and out. And then keep thinking about squaring out the hips. So again, I have contact with both sides as I drop my foot down and up. You feel a little bit of strength and activation too, right? Very nice. Give me 3 more. And then we're going to go back to a prone position. So we're going to flip around. Go ahead and do that now. And we're going to go into a child's pose. So first set, I'm going to have elbows down. We're going to go high first, then we'll go down to elbows. So we're going to do 2 different varieties. So palms firmly down, spread those fingers out, sink back into a child's pose. So now starting to think about opening through the armpits. We're starting to get into the upper body, the torso. We're going to do some torso rotations, some thoracic rotations. Good. Now I want you to come back out, and this time, second option, you're going to place elbows down. It's just going to make it a little bit of a deeper stretch. And same thing, sink back. Now your hips might go a little bit higher. I'm trying not to muffle the mic, but if you want to place your forehead on the mat, you can go ahead and do that. And this one can tend to be a little bit tighter. So if you want to come in and out of that stretch a little bit, and give me anywhere from 3 to 5 as you go in and out. Good, and keep going. I'm just going to give you some key points to think about. So as you're going in and out of that movement, don't lose control of your core. So I don't want you arching the back. I want you to feel like solid, straight body as you come in and out. Great job. All right, land in the center. We're going to thread the needle. So reach all the way through, stack, and switch. Now I want you to take a minute as you're going through this and try to feel the fact that we have kind of opened up all muscle groups before we've gotten into this thoracic rotation. Do you feel a little bit more like you can control those hips, keeping them square? You're going to get a better rotation if you keep the hips square and just focus on the upper body rotating. Give me 2 more. Great work. Last one. And then from here, I want you to just push back into a plank position. And we're going to go into a down dog, so heels into the floor, and then step forward, spider, and that amazing rotation that I know we love. World's greatest stretch, and it's going to be your absolute world's greatest stretch today, now that we've been able to open up some key joints ahead of time. So ankles, hips, wrists all come into play now. And I kind of mentioned that. Now you're going to get an even better experience because you've opened up your body in different parts that are going to support this movement. Oh, that feels so good. Keep it up. And then we are going to end up in a standing position. Give me your last 1 or 2. And when you're ready, just kind of land in the center. And then I want you to walk your hands in towards your feet. Connect with the floor with those heels as soon as you can. Slight bend in your knees. I want you to round all the way up. Roll the shoulders back. So we've kind of gone the reverse. A lot of times I will take us from top to bottom. Today we went from bottom all the way to top. So now I want you to take your hands behind your back. A little bit of a chest stretch here, keeping everything tight. And then I want you to reverse it, squeeze forward, stretch through the upper mid-back. Very nice. 1 more each there. Keep everything nice and tight. Reach forward. Awesome job. And now step 1 leg behind. This is a stretch you definitely know. And keep your abs tight. Big sweep overhead. And switch sides. Nice work. Okay, our last stretch is coming up. Give me 1 more on the other side. We're going to finish with full upper body circles. So I want you to land with feet just a little bit wider than hip distance. Reach your arms overhead. And I want you to circle all the way through and go nice and slow Keeping the hip square, feet firmly in, flat into the floor, and all the way through, and alternate directions. Last 30 seconds here. Just opening everything up. You're gonna feel upper body, lower body. Good, you probably have time for 1 or 2 more. Just make sure you are even on both sides. Keep those hips square to the front. That's a very key feature. Reach long. And all the way up. And then when you're done, go ahead and open up towards the front. Roll those shoulders back. Grab your elbows, give it a little shake. You guys, this sequence, I want you to plug it in. You know what I often say at the end of our strength and even our cardio HIIT workouts, if you have more time, stretch. This is gonna be one that I recommend until we progress it and I give you another one. So I'm gonna continue to progress and give you more extended stretch and mobility flows so that you can end up prioritizing this. Today was full body, so I really encourage you, if you don't currently have a consistent mobility practice, plug this in at least 2 times a week. If you have been somewhat consistent, go more towards that 3 to 5. And hey, it is an everyday option, of course, so you can also plug it in. And it's great to do even before our workouts. So put it in your calendar to do maybe at 8:30 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays before I see you live at 9 a.m. And also even for Amy on Mondays. So with that, thank you so much. 15 minutes goes by like that. That should also remind you that it's very easy to fit in and your body will thank you. So I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for joining me today and make it a fantastic rest of your day. Bye team.